welcome into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Boise State Overwatch continuing their season tonight in ABC Tespa. It is week number 2. Boise State currently sitting at 2-0, and they're going to start things off with Penn State Harrisburg in a best of 3. I'm your host, Michael Fish Fisher. Joining me to call all of the action is Brenner Bearlad. And Brenner, we'll start out with just a best of 3. It's a little bit different than what we've seen usually, which is that best of 5. So it's going to be a much shorter series. We'll start on Oasis. That is predetermined. Then we'll go hybrid and escort the rest of the way. And what are you expecting here from Boise State? I mean, this is the big tournament. This is the Overwatch Collegiate Homecoming by Blizzard. I mean, this is really where everything you've been practicing for really is going to shine through. So what do you want from Boise State here on Oasis on our first map of the night?
Definitely a dominating play, as we've seen so consistently through our other tournaments that we've been casting here. So we see very consistent Boise staying together and winning 1v1 gunfights consistently. We have the tanks pushing up, holding that front line, and we have the healers keeping them all alive, which everyone knows and loves. And we've even seen swaps to more of our B roster and still winning those engagements consistently, as Boise has yet to even take a loss in our NACE tournament that we have also been casting. So going straight into this Tespa League, I'd hope we see the exact same performance of our Boise State consistency.
Yeah, Boise State is jam-packed full of Overwatch here tonight. We will have one game from ABC, we will have one game from PlayVS, and then we will have that NACE tournament. Boise State undefeated across all 3. And this is the big one, though. This is also an interesting tournament where it's the Swiss format here in ABC, and if you're unfamiliar with that, that just means every single week they try and pair teams with the same record. So as Boise State keeps winning and winning, they should get those harder matchups against the teams that sit at the top of every single power ranking of every single tournament, like the Bay States, like the Northwood. So Boise State just practicing. I know they're going to have some good matchups coming up later this week if they are able to move to 3-0 here, but it is Boise State and Penn State Harrisburg, the first match of the night. These two teams been playing phenomenal, both sitting at 2-0. Starting on Oasis, I think the other thing that is interesting to me, Brenner, is the best of 3. It's a lot shorter, puts a lot more emphasis on control, because in a best of 5, you can easily maybe flub on control, come back, just win hybrid, escort, and assault. So I think the best of 3 also puts a lot of pressure on that first map in particular that a best of 5 usually doesn't have.
Yeah, the pressure is on for sure. I mean, Boise State wants to keep that undefeated record going, as we haven't lost a match in any of the tournaments, as you previously mentioned. And putting all that pressure on controlled can definitely be an issue. But at the same time, we enjoy best of 3 more than best of 5, because that means we don't have to play assault. Nobody likes assault.
True.
It has Paris. We just avoid that at all costs. So going straight into the control and then the hybrid and the escort, I think that definitely helps players' ideas of just, all right, we're going to do 2 control points, then the 1 for hybrid, then push the cart, and then just keep pushing the cart for the next mode if it does get to that third match. So I definitely, as best of 3 is shorter, I do think it is better for the players in the sense of control points, keep control point, push cart, keep pushing cart. So I think the game modes really line up well.
Well, as we're about to hop into game number 1, let's throw it over to Doc's keys to the game in Overwatch. Never take a fair fight. What exactly does that mean? It means take fights in unexpected places when they are unprepared, and tempo, tempo, tempo. Doc's keys brought to us by Drop-In Gaming. Drop-In Gaming is the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. Well, let's kick it off. Game number 1 on the night. It is ABC. Boise State taking on Penn State Harrisburg. We are starting on Oasis, predetermined by the organizers, so no real first seed advantage. We just go to whatever map they tell us to go to, and we'll get ready here to see what the teams have in store for us on our first map of quite the jam-packed night of Overwatch here for Boise State as we get ready for Oasis.
Yeah, jumping into it right into that center ring control point. I hope we actually see a Roadhog. We saw Roadhog the prior night we had Overwatch, and Gem was exuberant about it, as we rarely see Overwatch. So having that hole in the middle, yes, it's not like Ilios where you drop into the well, but knocking people off the point can definitely help you in the team fight. So going straight into Boise State's lineup, this is the pretty traditional thing we see of Gob on that Doomfist has yet to be contested unless the entire team jumps on him. So Penn State's definitely going to have to worry about that. Same with Maxall on the Symmetra, going for that teleport to play, get on point as quickly as you can, or even teleport behind the enemy team and try to go straight for their backline, with Chosen on the Baptiste, Large Bagel on Lucio, Kel on the Zarya, and Plato on that Rhine as we typically see, and instantly they're going for that Symmetra play as I mentioned.
They're going to teleport right on top of it. Goblin does have to be careful. He's going into a May and a McCree. If there's enough CC to stop him down with a nice concussive into a freeze, he could be caught on the wrong side. But Plato's going to go charging in. Immortality Field is going to be used by Chosen to keep him alive. Harrisburg taking a ton of damage. Rob the Hood dropping very low. Can Boise State get the first pick onto the enemy main tank? Looks like he is going to be able to walk out and stay alive. You get a teleport flank from Maxwell on that back line. Able to take the mech away from Master Luke. Boise State now in command. Goblin picks up the first elimination of the night. Sends the rest of Penn State Harrisburg walking away. They are now down both DPS. Make it 3 down. It looks like they're just going to have to reset.
Yeah, Boise State wins that engagement. They have the better sustain with that Baptiste compared to the Moira, where she can only heal for so long and then she has to start dealing damage, and once she's dealing damage, you're losing that healing. We have the same thing with the Baptiste, but at least he just has to reload, and it's not a limited amount of resource. And already going into this next fight, we're going to see multiple ultimates coming out from both sides.
You get the Ant Matrix down as well as the Photon Barrier. Boise State actually lost Plato in that fight. Very rarely do you win a fight when your main tank is the first one to go down, but when Goblin's picking up a quad, that's all you need. And you mentioned it, Brenner. He's been uncontested on that Doomfist, and that streak is continuing.
Yeah, we haven't really seen an enemy team wise up to it and go something like a Sombra. We've seen the Winston, we've seen the Genji, and they haven't really been able to make the difference against Gob on this Doomfist. And he's definitely been one of the key factors for Boise State's consistent wins here. As we keep saying, he's just been uncontested as he knocks up 4 members of the team, and then a great shatter comes out from Plato.
2 kills here for Boise State. They did lose Goblin, though, so damage is lacking. His Sound Barrier comes down from a large bagel to keep himself and Cal alive. And Boise State looking to finish him off. Plato's going to get a great pick on to May. Master Luke taken out of the mech. Plato getting himself a nice 2 kill there, including another one onto the mech. And it looks like Harrisburg's going to get one last chance to try and contest this before the map ends.
Yeah, with this Symmetra defense, it's definitely been hard to push through, especially with Boise State consistently having the ult advantage over Penn State, as we're seeing multiple ults come out from both sides with the grab and the drop the B, but it doesn't even keep Harrisburg alive as they are losing constant members, and finally Gob goes down, but it looks like the Moira is going to go for the touch just to get into overtime, as the rest of the members of Boise State are just going to try to clean up the trickling in members from Penn State.
I think Plato landed either a 5 or a 6-man shatter in that fight. Overtime will end, and Boise State, in fashion that we have seen all semester long, will pick up the dominating 100-0 win in map number 1 on Control. We'll see if they can get that done heading into the next part of Oasis. But that was very dominant. I don't think they lost a single team fight. I mean, even Des might have been able to have been counted on one hand for Boise State. That's how dominant that first map was.
Yeah, it's definitely what you want to see for your second week in this Tespa League, of showing that dominant force of why you are undefeated. And I'm surprised Penn State getting matched up against Boise State has not really shown a lot of signs of life in this first matchup, but like we mentioned, this is just the first match in this best of 3, so hopefully they come alive in this next round.
See what they could do. Boise State, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, will not change a single thing. Penn State Harrisburg will, however, go to the double shield of the Orisa Sig. And they're also going to bring out that Junkrat for Robot Wizard and see if he's able to get some spam in. Nice stun immediately lands onto Plato, but May is taken incredibly low on the May. Fitting name there. But it's Rob the Hood who gets the first elimination onto Gob. But Maxwell with a huge flank on this Symmetra. A double boop off the edge for Kel on the Diva. Opens things up for Boise State. Great use of the teleporter here for Maxwell. Just playing ring around the rosy with the remaining members of Penn State Harrisburg.
And a large bagel gets a triple, being a double of a melee kill, no less, on a Lucio against Penn State. So Boise State immediately gets that first tick. I'm going to have to wait and see if Penn State is even able to regroup and take it to get at least 1% on the board, as they did not do that in the first round. So Boise State immediately taking that high ground and turning their attention to Penn State coming through that back room.
Penn State going to try and sneak around, take the fight right on top of Boise State again. They've got to watch out for that teleport flank that we saw Maxwell pull off so expertly last time. It's Goblin is going to lead the charge. There's the teleporter as well. Goblin on the back line picks up Zach to start things out. A 3-man shatter from Plato is going to make quick work of the enemy team. A coalescence from Savage Badger. All it can do is eliminate Plato. and keep him alive for the time being. Zach is respawned, but Penn State Harrisburg needs to look for a reset, and they'll do just that as Maxwell's going to teleport in on the back line, gets caught out and might go down. First to use the photon barrier by themselves and gets punched to death by the Lucio.
Yeah, he almost was able to eliminate that reset. She got so low, but being that close to spawn is never what you want to see. And definitely got a little bit cheeky there, if nonetheless, as we saw the tire come out. Oh, but it looks like that Junkrat's going to get eliminated before he's even able to use it, as Chosen eliminates the tire. Or the Bongo's going to come out from Penn State as well, but get quickly taken out by a single flame strike, as Penn State's pretty much going to have to go full stall here, as they have yet to really get any presence on this point. They're putting up a good fight so far, but May's not even on the point to ice block on it. Boise State being that dominating force that we know and love.
Boise State's going to have probably one more fight to win here to come out with another 100-0 victory, and the only ult they're going to have to do it against is the Blizzard from May. So a little bit of pressure on Kel to eat that with the defense matrix, but really regardless, it's going to take quite the effort here for Penn State Harrisburg to win this final fight, as they're going to hop on the point 96% and counting. It'll stop at 99 when overtime triggers. What can Boise State do? The Blizzard is going to go down, but Cal eats it. A two-man shatter does land. Sound barrier and immortality field both forced out from Boise State, but they're able to stay alive. They lose Plato. First member down. Zach with a great sound barrier of his own, but Master Luke falls off the edge, and that totally changes the tide now down a tank, but it's Robot Wizard with a nice two-piece Goblin trying to do everything he can to not allow Boise State to give up a single tick on this point, and he is doing just that. Savage Badger gets taken out. A great dodge, at least getting up in the air to take away the majority of that stun, and Goblin will be able to basically solo hold, and Boise State will claim map number 1.
You cannot tread lightly with Gob on this Doomfist. He has yet to be contested by an enemy team. Yes, he gets eliminated every once in a while, but it takes the entire team to do so. So well-deserved play of the game by Gob going into match 2.
This is Goblin's, I think, 4-piece he picks up here just on the back line. Absolutely dominant. This is after Plato went down early in the fight. Goblin picking his best spot to pop off, and Boise State in game number 1, a dominating win, something we have come to know and expect for Boise State this semester. Well, don't forget, Boise State Esports is always looking for talented players, production and broadcast talent. Top talent, along with good grades and eligibility, can earn you scholarships as well. Sign up today by visiting boisestate.edu/esports for more information. Boise State, resounding win here. We will go to hybrid next. Of course, we'll take a quick break. Before we do, Brenner, your quick thoughts on that game and what to expect on game number 2.
I hope we see Penn State come alive in this next one, as they did not show many signs of life and didn't even get 1% on the point. So hopefully in hybrid they'll be able to do so.
We'll take a quick break. Can Boise State start the night with a fast 2-0? We will find out after this.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena, watching our coverage of the Overwatch Collegiate Homecoming League, also known as ABC Overwatch. We just saw Boise State get a dominating win on map number 1. The losing team, which is Penn State Harrisburg, now gets the choice on Hybrid. Frisch and Brenner Bear calling all of the action. And Brenner, what do you expect for Hybrid? Is there anything that you saw in Penn State Harrisburg's team comp that might lend them in a specific direction? I mean, I know Kings Row is always kind of the easy pick, but is there any sort of direction you might be leaning?
I mean, any variety would always be nice. Kings Row is definitely the broken record that the Overwatch League loves and that we see so consistently in Overwatch. So something like Blizzard World would be really interesting, that I think would play to a lot of their strengths of they really like that Reinhardt pushing forward or the double shield, so they could push up with that Sig shield, and even Orisa if she shoots it farther up. So I could see that working as well. And it would also play into Boise State's strength as they like taking the high ground so much, and especially with that Symmetra play and Doomfist play. So I think both sides would benefit from a bit change up than the typical Kings Row.
Boise State sitting at 2-0 in ABC. We're right now leading 1-0 in this best-of-3 series, so they are on match point. We started on Oasis as picked by the tournament, and now we'll go to Hybrid. I mean, I think you're right. I think it's probably going to be Kings Row because it's just like what every team picks, especially when you lose. You're like, okay, we played Kings Row a lot. I mean, no, honestly, jokingly and seriously as Scrims Row, because that's where a lot of teams do scrims. So just waiting to see where we will end up going. It's Boise State. It is Penn State Harrisburg in a jam-packed night of Overwatch. As we mentioned, we'll wrap up this series. We'll then go into Boise State play versus Overwatch, and then we'll go into Boise State NACE Overwatch. So a ton of Overwatch here for the team. Hopefully they do not get fatigued, but with the way they've been playing and the speed they have been playing with, I would assume we're going to have a lot of fast matches and a lot of time for them to take breaks in between, because it didn't even look like Boise State broke a sweat on Control Runner.
Yeah, they rarely do, and especially when you're playing fun, it's definitely going to help time fly by. And since they're playing as good as they're definitely having fun, no questions about it. So going into this Hybrid match, I hope we see that continue, even if it is such a dominating force. Like you mentioned, this is the Tespa League. This is something we want to show our best at. So pushing forward, we definitely want to keep that undefeated. So playing at our best, we still want to have fun doing it.
Yeah, Boise State, of course, every tournament means something, but when it's the official Blizzard Collegiate Overwatch tournament, it really just means that much more. It does look like the maps at the bottom of the screen says we're actually going to Hollywood. So a nice little change-up pick for Penn State Harrisburg. We'll see what they can do. I know Boise State has had some hilarious strats on Hollywood, especially with Plato kind of just sitting in some of those corridors that you don't always think to look, especially at Overwatch. You're not punished usually for not checking all of your corners like you would in other games. So curious to see what Plato and the rest of Boise State wants to do as this lineup is ready to go. I do not think they have dropped a match since HughFest against the teams like Northwood and Illinois State. So this team ready to go. We're ready to hop into it whenever the players are. Game 2 on Hollywood, Boise State and Penn State Harrisburg. The Broncos on match point, looking to win 1 of 3 matches on the night. A nice 3-0 overall for the Broncos. And hey, if they don't even drop a map in the process, that just speaks to their domination that they have going on as we get ready to hop into the game.
Yeah, so going into Hollywood, I would not be surprised if we saw pretty much the same comp. The Junkrat works really well, and so does the Symmetra of teleporting up and down with the turrets. Same with Junkrat, just being able to spam down any shields that they push through with a typical Reinhardt, but it looks like they're going to go for the Hanzo instead with Gob, going back to the old faithful Doomfist that he has yet to be contested on. As we're going to throw it to a quick pause as one of the members of Penn State is going to drop one of their DPS, sadly. But looking at this roster real quick, it looks like Boise State's definitely going for a more high-speed route. They do have that Lucia. They do have the Wrecking Ball. Yes, they have the SIG, but he can work with it, especially with his ult coming into play with that graph. So I definitely hope we see some really good combinations coming out.
Yeah, it did look like there was at least a bit of a role swap for Penn State. Harrisburg did look like Master Luke and Rob DeHood had swapped tank roles. They were both, Rob DeHood was the Reinhardt that you had mentioned you thought they might want to play behind. He is now, I was on the Zarya at the start before we got that pause, and Master Luke was on the Reinhardt. So we'll see if that ends up being the case here, and they maybe do swap up who's on main tank, who's on off tank, and that'd be kind of interesting to see how they respond, and it looks like that is going to be the case. Also, Robot Wizard on the Soldier, always a safe pick. Doesn't really help though against Goblin's Doomfist because they don't have any sustained CC to try and slow that Doomfist down, at least right now, especially with that Tracer pick.
Yeah, it's definitely not what you want to see against Gob on that Doomfist. He has definitely been a threat to be reckoned with, no question. And so looking at this Penn State lineup of an attack squad, they also just don't have sustain because they just swapped off that Soldier to the Junkrat as well. So he might be able to get a quick double tap with his throwable mines or even the bear trap if Gob does not spot it. But at this high level play, hopefully we do not see that come to pass.
Goblin is already preparing in case they capture the payload and he's ready for the flank attack. And maybe, I don't know, maybe he's got something up his sleeve. We will have to see as we see Penn State Harrisburg immediately rush right through the arches there. Now Kel is going to, or Plato, excuse me, on that Wrecking Ball, going to jump right on top of him. Maxwell gets a great Sonic Gear to give all the information Boise State needs, but a nice high ground control here for Penn State Harrisburg. Plato going to get a huge knock up in the air. Goblin is right there, taking a ton of damage, has to be careful. Jump away over that wall. Huge 4-man ante landed by Chosen. Boise State looking for the punish, and they are going to find it with a 4K, looking for one more onto Savage Badger. He is going to go down, and that all starts with a huge ante from Chosen on that Ana.
Yeah, last thing you want to do against this Boise State team is line yourselves up in a hallway, no less, and try to go back down the stairs into two more members of Boise State. So Penn State definitely going to have to go for a different strategy this time around. The high ground was great, but once they got there, they just stopped moving and then backed in themselves into a corner. So hopefully this time we might see a different strat coming out.
Axel immediately gets a pick onto May, which forces out a stagger here from Penn State Harrisburg. Dragon Strike is going to come through, not able to do too much damage to the side of Harrisburg, so Maxwell will just retreat. Harrisburg now with that full reset, going to try and look to push on top of the payload, but immediately a huge minefield from Plato, and a nice ante is immediately going to push them back. Goblin, though, the first one eliminated. We'll see what Harrisburg can do. Now sitting up one, but a huge flank from Plato is going to push them all right on top of the payload. Coalescence from Savage Badger is not enough. Both DPS and Savage Badger will immediately fall. Zach does get an elimination onto Kel. It's too little too late, though. Boise State going to go with the Nano onto a large bagel on that Brig. Going to swing her hammer around, pick up a kill, and force out another reset.
Yeah, Boise State, even when down members in a losing fight, they still win them consistently, so you can never count any members out, especially when you're outnumbered. Boise State just knows how to perform in losing battles, and they never even were losing in the first place, being down a member, and Gob instantly going in on 3 members with the ultimate. The Doomfist Wombo combo is alive and well as he's just going in on the members of Harrisburg.
Harrisburg already down 3. The Dragon Strike going to pick off Savage Badger as they try to retreat to spawn. And we are under 90 seconds, and Harrisburg has not gotten a single tick on the point. May going to go down as well, and Boise State is in complete control of this game.
Yeah, May not even playing May, playing Tracer, so just a little bit more confusing for you on the side of the audience. But going into this next attack push, it is all on the side of Harrisburg to try to even touch the point and get a tick on it as we are now passing that minute marker. It looks like they're just going to keep being a broken record, going for that tall, high ground play, but Boise State knows it and knows how to counter it as they are eliminating every member of Harrisburg on the rotation. Harrisburg has the ult. They're even going to use the sound barrier to try to stay alive, but it does not manage to keep anyone alive as Boise State cleans them up and they're back at spawn.
Fantastic job by Boise State. 30 seconds here. Final fight for Penn State Harrisburg. Probably would have liked to have them save that sound barrier from Zach that only landed on the 2 members for this last fight. Instead, they'll just have a grab, pulse bomb, and a Riptire, which is not a bad combination. The Riptire is going to start the fight. The grab will go out as well. It's not going to land on a single person, however, for Rob the Hood. A Pulse Bomb does pick off a large bagel. Gravitic Flux from Kel, though, will slam down Harrisburg's chances of pulling off any sort of percentage on the point. They're even not going to get a single tick. It's down to the 2 tanks for Penn State Harrisburg, trying to stall out time on top of that point, but Boise State is just simply not going to let them. And overtime will end before anyone else can even get back.
Can never count Boise State out. At one point they were at a what? 3v5 and they still brought it back and won it. The tanks held the point and they just got collapsed upon as the rest of their members were taken out front, left, and center. So Boise State takes hybrid round 1. So now Boise State on the attack just has to get the single tick on the point to win it out. I'm surprised if this takes longer than a minute.
Yeah, I would assume one fight in Boise State should probably be in good territory to move to 3-0 in ABC Overwatch. But who knows, maybe Penn State Harrisburg has something up their sleeves. I don't actually know if they have won a single team fight in these 2 games. They do get the Orisa and the Roadhog, which, a Roadhog something we talked about. Maybe if you get an insane hook onto Goblin, maybe you can make a play, but I expect Boise State to have a plan with Maxwell and the Symmetra. Never mind, Maxwell's going to swap off to the Hanzo. So much for that plan.
Yeah, this time you don't even want to see the hook onto Gob because as that Bastion, it could be detrimental for your team of what he can do, especially going into this attack because we have yet to see Harrisburg on the defense. Control, they never had control of the point to be defensive. So now actually having to defend a point, we're going to see some new faces from the side of Penn State as May is now on the Ash. Same with Robot Wizard on the Torb. So definitely going for the more hard defensive strat here. And not having multiple barriers could be detrimental for them as Boise State doesn't really have that high-speed team, but this Lucio is going to be the key to watch as already they're on point, taking out that turret and teleporting behind.
Great flank teleport. Master Luke, the first blood to fall. 2 more will go down in short order. Plato looking to wrap things up. Look at Goblin up here. Just going to be able to teleport back and forth, do damage from both angles. Nobody from Penn State stops Boise State, and the Broncos make quick work of Penn State Harrisburg. Pick it up, the clean 2-0 victory. They will move to 3-0. The score is so bad, we even gave Penn State -1 point at one point.
Woohoo! I love seeing that.
And a great performance by Plato. He has been phenomenal, swapping over to this main tank role after playing DPS last year. I know he has really cleaned up most of the ICCU Player of the Game awards, and he picks up the Play of the Game highlight there. But Boise State is victorious. 2-0 win over Penn State. Dominating win once again, something we have come to expect from Boise State. 3-0 overall, and really a fantastic start to this evening of Overwatch.
Yeah, and as we said, we have 2 more games after this, so after that win, players are definitely feeling much better going into this, so I definitely don't think fatigue is setting in anytime soon.
Yeah, Boise State, I don't even know. I mean, if they broke a sweat in any of those games, those were absolutely dominating, especially that last map on hybrid. Though again, this is the Swiss format, so when you start out, you might play teams that are don't quite align with your skill level. I do know that I've been told that Boise State next week is expecting some very talented teams along the names of like Akron, who's a team who's very strong in Overwatch. So I think the tournament level is getting harder and harder. Overall, 10 games over in Tespa. I've been told Boise State has done the math. 8-2 will get you into the playoffs there, which is really what you want to be because there's a lot of prize money at the line anytime that Blizzard is involved. I mean, any quick thoughts? I know we have a lot of Overwatch to get to tonight here, Brenner. So your quick thoughts, final thoughts on what we saw there in a dominating Boise State win.
Yeah, going into this next game, it's a strong showing from Boise State. So going over to the play versus from Tespa, you want to see that just continue to roll through so consistently for Boise State. And since they're feeling good, they're going to play good. So hopefully that we see that trend continue.
We will see what to expect for Boise State. As Brenner mentioned, we will shift gears a little bit. We will move over to play versus Overwatch, which does move to that best-of-5 format. Also, I think puts Assault second, so it is going to feel a little bit different for Boise State. They will get their Assault warm-up that I know everyone loves. But we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back. It'll be more Overwatch. It'll be Boise State taking on Cameron University in the play versus series. Boise State undefeated over there, looking to get another win on the board. Again, a jam-packed night of Overwatch. We've got play versus and NACE coming up. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss Boise State Overwatch.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by. Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure. Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena, and you're watching our coverage of Overwatch. It is an Overwatch marathon tonight, and we move on to PlayVS. Boise State certainly looking very dominant in peak condition after that first game. They have swept to 2-0. Now we are going to see how they do against Cameron University. I'm your host, Jacob Jem Palmer, still joined by Brenner Bear Lad. And Brenner, I just have to say, Boise State, in their performance over the past few weeks, and certainly as we saw in that first match tonight, just seems so immaculate. What are the main... I guess we can start out tonight by just asking, what are Boise State's weaknesses right now, if any? Like, what advice can we give to Cameron University right now to give them a shot against the Broncos, which have been doing so well?
Do the unexpected. We see a lot of teams go through a lot of the same routes on attack, and Boise State likes playing a little bit different. We saw just on that Hollywood, they did Symmetra teleported right up where the turret was, and then they had the Bastion play teleporting back and forth. That's something unique that you don't see a lot of high-level play teams do. So expect the unexpected and do it yourself. If you play a little bit unique, Boise State may not know how to counteract those things, and it could be to your advantage.
Well, let's take a look overall at the current tournament we're in, because we're swapping between so many it can be easy to lose track. We just finished up the Tespa tournament, or the ABC tournament, and now we are in PlayVS. For this tournament, the format is going to be a best of 5 with a map order being Control, Assault, Escort, Hybrid, and then another Control. We're going to have the higher seed pick map 1, and then the lower, the person who loses the last round, rather, is going to be picking the next map. So hopefully for Boise State, they don't find themselves in that situation too much. We haven't seen too many situations where Boise State has had map choice, which I suppose is a very good place to find yourself. And another great place to find yourself is having expert advice, such as Doc's Keys to the Game. And what is that in Overwatch? Well, the main thing we want to take away here is to never take a fair fight. That means to take fights in unexpected places when the opposing team is unprepared and when you have ability advantages. Doc's Keys to the Game are brought to us by Drop-In Gaming. It's the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments, whether you are new to the scene or a seasoned veteran. Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive gaming journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. Let's take a look at the Boise State lineup, just some of the top talent that we have. Certainly a lot of all-star players that we love to see. A lot of players with big personalities. Bagel comes to mind. Plato, of course, on those tanks is certainly a dominant force. Is there anyone you particularly want to shout out, Brenner, in the regard of our lineups?
Definitely going to have to give it to Gaba on that Doomfist, as he has yet to be contested and is definitely one of the main key players on our Boise State team. And as you mentioned, Plato, Large Bagel, we see Maxwell Hull making a ton of plays. Same with Kel on that Zarya very consistently. So Boise State's lineup has definitely been an A team this semester so far, being undefeated. I expect that to continue into the PlayVS.
With tonight's lineup brought to you by Count Identity Trust Global Network. They deliver real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enable personalized customer experiences for more than 9,000 leading brands. Count.com. We're going to get ready to head into the first match here, Boise State versus Cameron in PlayVS Overwatch. Right now, though, we are still at least early enough into the season where the bracket hasn't been tightening down too much, and Boise State going up against Cameron. I would say it's probably mostly in favor of Boise State, but we can't necessarily count Cameron out. Especially, I think in most of the matches I've seen in this semester thus far, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brenner, but most of the matches I've seen this semester, Boise State has always taken the first map control. I don't believe we haven't seen another team open up with a win against Boise State.
Yeah, Boise State's starter is definitely one of their strongest suits, and I'm very interested to see how this best of 5 will actually play out, with Assault being the second mode we're going into after Control, whereas we just did that best of 3 was Control Hybrid, now it's Control Assault. So definitely going to play into Boise State's kind of momentum of snowballing in Overwatch. So I'm very hopeful that they do take the first map, and since they do have first map pick, I would not be surprised if we go to Yizhong Tower, as we're immediately jumping right into it.
Yeah, we are actually going to have Boise State in the red, it looks like here, and they are the first ones to get toward the point. And we actually have Nerdy joining the fray in their favorite Diva pick there, so that's always fun to see Nerdy be able to play that. We'll see how the Broncos do. They're going to start out quite well with Bagel getting the first pick against Duper, but that's answered back by Maxwell being taken out. Gob with a great punch right to McCree there. Mercy also being taken out, and it waterfalls from then on out. Boise State taking them all out, actually all 6 members. It's not a team kill because Duper respawned, but nevertheless, all 6 members taken out. First point for Boise State.
Yeah, we also saw Asu come in as well, so Nerdy replaced Kel, and Asu's taken over for another member. So it looks like Boise State's going for more of their B roster here, going for the play versus. And already, Cameron University is going to have to push through this doorway and try to get a couple picks with that Roadhog hook, but it looks like it's going to miss. So now Plato's going to start walking forward and get a great 5-man shatter onto Cameron University.
Yeah, his flame strikes have been on point, allowing him to charge up his ultimate extremely fast. Asu also throws down the application matrix. That's going to be a team kill. Boise State, for all intents and purposes, they got one the last engagement, but now it's official. They have one under their belt.
Yeah, and it's probably not going to stop there, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another one here happen against Cameron University, as this time they're going to go for the far play this time, not through the main door. And they're even going to get the first elimination onto Plato here, so losing that frontline member could be detrimental for Boise State, but you can never count them out, as already Gob is tying up this team lineup.
Yeah, Gobs is just insane on this Doomfist. Are they going to be able to do it again? I actually think they did take out. No, they're going to do ultimate there for the 6th pick. Not going to be a team wipe since Duper did respawn, but Cameron University now has to resist the urge to trickle in all at once. Looks like they are going to be waiting to push in as a team. Boise State is going to be using that photon barrier to start off this engagement, putting Cameron University at his advantage. They're just going to push right past the choke point. Proxy tries to punish them with that Death Blossom, but it's going to be that shatter brought out by Plato, and they're just knocking Cameron right off the edge in their own spawn. Just the sheer disrespect here and confidence from Boise State. You can tell they came here to play and are going to be closing out this round with style.
Yeah, when you're that undefeated team in every tournament of Overwatch right now, you definitely want to have this dominating performance, not even letting Cameron University get on the point for longer than a couple of seconds. So Boise State keeping the trend of not losing map 1 on control of Lijiang Tower.
Now we head into the second map. It looks like it's going to be Night Market, and Boise State, that consistently means the Symmetra Teleport, which as fast as Boise State is, I mean, you've got to have your skills on peak to be able to try to match Boise State for a race to that Sim Teleport, which doesn't look like Cameron University is actually going to go for.
Cameron will probably go for the pharmacy boop as everyone teleports up there, try to split up the Boise State team a little bit and get some early poke damage onto members of Boise State. But it looks like Boise State's might even go for the match there with their own pharmacy with Asu and Gob. So Gob now on the Doomfist, he's now on the Pharah. Still could definitely win play of the game with her on this map, as it looks like many members of Cameron State are going to go over. You don't want to see him go on the left because those boops could come in handy. We know Boise State loves their environmental kills.
Plato loves flanking on that wrecking ball. It's going to be Maxo getting the first pick onto Proxy. Boise State going up 1. Gloveman taking a lot of damage with the help from that Discord or Plague almost being taken out. There he gets taken out again. Ultimate heads off the edge, and it's going to be a reset for Cameron University as Boise State quite effortlessly, just like they did last time, taking the first point.
Yeah, now they get a push forward back into their spawn as we saw them last map as well. Boise State, as early as this is in the Play versus tournament, I wouldn't be surprised if this was the rest of the season, just playing as confident as they are and as they know they are, with Plato getting the first elimination of this team fight.
Plato's just going to be going right into Duper. No doubt called out by Bagel there. Great communication from the Broncos. Plato also goes on to take off Gloveman, and this is just what they're doing. They're doing just what they did last time. They're pushing up past the choke right into Cameron's spawn, and isn't even allowing them to get close to that point.
And Boise State already has the 2 ultimates farmed as well. Now 3, close to 4 compared to Cameron's 1. Doesn't even have the Valkyrie online, and with Gob just waiting for that missile barrage to come out.
Yeah, Boise State is doing a great job as just kind of waiting and predicting where Cameron University is going to funnel through. and just taking them all out one at a time. That was a bit of a dangerous situation for Ultimate there. Just kind of stepping out of the point, had to run back in. It's definitely what you... Look, he's taking damage too. Okay. I just hope that he's not stepping out too early. He does manage to get the pick against Maxwell, though. Cameron University might be able to use this to their advantage, but Gob is so tuned into these doorways where Cameron University wants to push through that he just takes out Ultimate with no effort whatsoever. Now, it does look Cameron is trying to split up with the Roadhog on the different direction here, but now Duper taking a whole bunch of damage. Proxy also eliminated by a large bagel. Seems like Cameron tried to split up there, but it seems like if they're all as one group, Boise State just kind of takes them all out. If they try to split up, Boise State takes them all out.
Yeah, you would think going up against a Pharmacy, you want to see something like a Diva and Rhine to just absorb as much damage as possible. Instead, Cameron went for the Sigma Roadhog, which has pretty obviously not been working out. So now they're swapping over to the Wrecking Ball to just try to stall the best they can. But I don't think they're even going to come close to making it as Boise State wins control.
If I wasn't mistaken, Mercy was using the Valkyrie just to try to stall out the point. If that is not pure desperation against the mammoth that is Boise State, I have no idea what is. But if you want to join Boise State Esports, if you think you can match a performance that we've just seen from them, we are always looking for talented players, production, and broadcast. Top talent, along with good grades and eligibility, can earn scholarships as well. Sign up today by visiting boisestate.edu/esports for more information. Well, now we are looking at quite possibly just another Boise State sweep. It is best of 5, so we're probably not going to see, well, we are at least going to see a map 3, so we're going to see Escort and Assault is going to be going up next. If you're in Cameron University's position, what's kind of the suggestion that you give Brenner in both a way to turn this around and maybe a map choice that would help facilitate that?
Map choice is hard to do because no matter what map you choose, it's always going to be a snowball effect. Even if you choose Paris, it's hard to stop that snowball effect with how terrible that map truly is. So Cameron State's definitely going to have to try to step up to match the Boise State roster. Even if it is our B roster, they are still some of the best players around in the college scene right now. So Cameron State definitely has an uphill battle ahead of them.
Well, we'll take a short break between these rounds, and Boise State looks like they're well on their way to doing another undefeated victory, but we will see if Cameron State has anything to say about that. We'll be right back after this break.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. You're watching our coverage of Play versus Collegiate Overwatch. We just saw the Broncos get a win on map 1, and the losing team gets map choice on Assault, so we will find out what that is. As you can no doubt see from the intro and the lighting around here, we are starting to get into the Halloween spirit. And Brenner, speaking of the Halloween spirit in terms of things that are spooky and terrifying, I have heard some news that is sending chills down my spine as to what's being planned for map number 2. Why don't you fill us in?
So as we took a break, I got a little keys to the game from myself, from Doc, that we are going straight into Hanamura on Assault. And this team comp was designed by Doc himself to be, and I quote, abusive. So I'm very curious to see what could come from this. As you mentioned, this is a spooky season, and that is terrifying indeed, because this is not like classic Overwatch where you can have multiple of the same hero, which was truly terrifying. So now going into the ranked play of the 2-2-2 meta, this isn't GOATS meta or anything like that. We are stuck to the Overwatch ranked system. So I'm very curious what this possible team composition could be. Any guests on your end? Because I can make a couple, but you can only go so far with the 2-2-2 meta.
I personally don't even want to guess right now. I think just kind of leaving it unknown just adds to the factor, the suspense factor of it. As you can see, Boise State got the win on the first map. Lijon Tower is going to be going into Hanamura next. Let's take a look at the rules of the event. Just as a quick recap, this is a best of 5, and Assault is the second mode in the lineup. We will be heading to Escort next, the next guaranteed game. And then, of course, Boise State picked map 1, but and Cameron gets the pick of map 2. We'll see who gets the pick of map 3 based on how it goes in Hanamura. Cameron University, one of those programs, you know, it's easy to forget as we compete against so many people, but Cameron University, a very great program. I've been hearing from Doc. We really like their players. We really have a great relationship with their coach as well. So it's great to kind of remember that there's still a lot of great sportsmanship between these programs off the stage and just in terms of casual friendships, and Cameron University definitely fits that bill. Although I'm going to see how much that friendship might be tested based on whatever Doc has whipped up in his twisted mind.
Yeah, I'm very curious. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw like a Torb hammer only just for the fun of it to be that type of abusive. We're going to have a melee Torb rush in at all costs, and the goal is for him to get play of the game with hammer only. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that be a thing tonight. I mean,
we were talking about a week or two ago. Earlier this April Fools, we had the All Genji League. Next April Fools, I'm calling it the All Torb Hammer League.
It could be possible, but looking at this lineup, we're going to see a large Bagel on the Baptiste, Plato on the Orisa, Nerdy on the Sig, Asu on the Mercy, Gob on the Bastion, and Maxwell still on the Symmetra. Going for the teleport play all the way on the roof behind it, so Gob is just going to start raining hell from above with this Bastion, but it looks like Ultimate on this May is going to be able to take him out, but immediately Asu is there with the res, damage boosting his little robot that could. Boise State is here to be abusive as Doc wanted with this team comp.
I wouldn't necessarily expect, I mean, you push on to the point, you don't expect a Bastion to be back in your own spawn, just pelting you with bullets from where you were. So Boise State doing a great job in their initial push here. And I can only, the game that we're playing here is where does Maxwell teleport Gob to? That's basically the game that we're playing right now.
But, well, he's not going to teleport him anyway because Proxy was there with the rockets to take him out. Asu's also there with the res. As we all know and love, Asu is that support player who will be behind you no matter what. So that Mercy is the perfect pick, and he's going to go right up top. And as that Bastion gets set up, he's going to take Proxy out immediately.
The large Bagel also taking out Ultimate there. Boise State is just going one after the other, taking out Plague. I would say Boise State, specifically Gob, is the Plague right now, getting a triple and now going into tank form. Don't you dare step through that doorway or else you're going to be hit right in the face. Boise State ending this with 5 minutes, 24 seconds. You know, nothing too big to overcome there for Cameron.
Yeah, this is the definition of Assault. It's the snowball map. They had the momentum. They had the ults. You played around your DPS. with Gob on that Bastion, and it was the dominating force. So if Cameron can touch the point on Hanamura, I'll be happy at this point. I don't think they'll even get a pip.
Well, that's a bit of a prediction, but we'll see if that prediction comes through. I will say though, like you said, Hanamura can, or just Assault in general, can be a very snowbally mode. So if there was any mode, even with the opening that Boise State had, if there was any mode that I would want Cameron to maybe at least just get at least one tick and just start a little momentum in their way, you know what I mean? Just get a little bit of positive momentum, a little bit of positive mentality, then I would say that it's here.
Well, going into Doc's abusive defense strat this time around, we're going to see a large bagel on the Ana with Plato and Nerdy back on the same tanks of the Orisa and Sig. Asu now on the BAP, Gob on the Genji this time, and Maxall on the Hanzo. So we're going to get the Shimada brothers here on Hanamura. It's their map, so I would not be surprised if they perform the best on this team for defense.
We're just going to have to see. It's something that you're just going to have to keep your supports aware of where Gob is at all times. He is just insane. He loves playing on Doomfist. He just loves these sort of flanky heroes. He already gets 10% shots just in one hit. It just shows how good and consistent he is. Now they head to this first choke point here. Doesn't look like they're able to push through quite. Gloveman is taking a lot of damage. They're going to use that Maywall to try to push through to the right. But as you can see, Gob getting a double there. Boise State just tears through Cameron University like paper and gets a team kill.
Second team kill of the night, and in this play versus game as well. Boise State's definitely not playing with their food that time around, as they just wiped them as quickly as you could. Not something you want to do, Cameron, and is back yourselves into a corner. You had that on Lijiang Tower, and you did it again in Hanamura. So will they learn this time and try to go for a different strat, even though they did not change their team compositions?
Well, Gloveman just trying to lead the charge to Cameron University. It seems like he can't get through that doorway without paying at least half of his health as a toll. And Boise State is just, look at that Hulk coming out from Plato, just bunching them all up in one place, letting Gob with this Genji Blade tear through them is going to take out Ultimate. Plato also is just content to just use his standard fire and just get a double right there too. That's going to be all 6 taken out again from Cameron University, and head back to start, I guess.
Yeah, that Roadhog switch was definitely not something you wanted to see from the side of Cameron, as the berries are the only thing that are keeping you alive, not Roadhog, who can absorb damage and heal for 300 of a bit. He can also be stunned right out of it in the span of a second. So Cameron University has yet to really have tanks that will hold that front line. They constantly go for the rotations and just get taken out in between. And we're going to see a great wombo combo coming out from Boise State.
Maxwell takes out Gloveman and all the other members of Cameron University. At least 3 of them down around a quarter health. Ultimate is going to be taken out by Gob, who's more than happy to just head into their backline. We'll see who he takes out next, as there goes another halt. Just can't hide behind any sort of vehicle here. As Plato, along with Gob, is just having such a great performance. As soon as I say that, of course, Duper gets the pick onto him. An Amplification Matrix is thrown down, but look at this Bongo used in a flank way by Plato. He's going to be stopping this Lucio right here. Bongo gets destroyed, and Duper is taken out, though. We also hear the Gravitic Flux and the Valkyrie being used by Cameron University. Nerdy is frozen and gets taken out. Duper is rezzed by Plague, so this is Cameron University's biggest chance to push through here. They are able to take out Plato and Asu, and Gob is also taken out. That was kind of the one that I was going to be nervous about, who might be able to turn it around. Cameron University looks like they're going to take this first point. But maybe 1 or 2 members of Boise State. I don't think Boise State would get that cheeky in trying to retake it.
I mean, they could, and already I have been wrong, as they have gotten 2 ticks on the point with 2 members already coming back. So it looks like Boise State's actually going to give up the first control point of this assault map. And going into this final map, they're going to have an uphill battle, as they only have 3 minutes to take this second assault point. Things are not looking good, as already Plato's just having fun in the back line of Cameron University.
I mean, really, we're talking about Gob as the flanker. Plato is the #1 flanker on tank for Boise State. It's just, he has just found a way to be all over the place. Gob isn't going to let any fame be taken away from him as he takes out Play. Gloveman also eliminated by Asu. Cameron University down 2. They get one person on the point for a very little amount of time before Gob punches them right to the face. And 3 more members taken out by Plato, Asu, and Maxwell. That's going to force a reset from Cameron University. They still have a good amount of time. They just got to think right now about taking this point and not worrying too far ahead about overtime.
Yeah, the pressure is on for Cameron University no matter what, as all of the poke damage is coming out from Boise State through this window with 4 members all lined up, and now even the amplification matrix coming out.
Amplification matrix dropped by Boise State. Still 2 left. Nerdy gets the Gravitic Flux, is going to use it. It's used in combination with that Genji Blade. Gravitic Flux actually takes out Duper. Emerson also taken out. And Plato eliminated by a large bagel. Asu getting rid of Proxy. Cameron University only having just 1 lowly pick onto Gob as any sort of solace for them. It's going to be another full reset.
Yeah, Maxwell and the Hanzo able to eliminate members of Cameron University before they can even retreat back to spawn to heal, nailing some amazing headshots. So right now, the Shimada brothers are defending their home of Hanamura right now. So it is all the way down.
Double sniper!
It's the defense of a century right now, and Cameron University is not looking good. They do have the ult advantage going in for this next push, as Proxy on this Echo has been the playmaker for Cameron University. So we'll have to see if they're going to be able to make the difference going against double sniper.
Well, Maxwell already doing a great job taking out Ultimate there. You're going to see Whole Hog and Beat as well as Valkyrie. Cameron University is just throwing everything they can, and they do pick up a double against Asu and Gob. We do see Dragon Strike being used by Boise State, and it's actually able to turn around. I was thinking that was just run out too late, but don't tell that to Maxwell. He's just going to pick up a 5-kill, a pentakill, and turn it completely around for Boise State when they were 2 down.
Can never count them out when they're down members. This has been so consistent for Boise State that they've had the playmakers on their team, even when it is a 1v2, 1v3, or in Maxwell cases, a 1v5. He's just able to pull it out. Yes, he had the help of his team members, but he was getting the damage. He had the ult that got the double kill to start it all off. So Boise State is not going to let him get a pip on this final point of Hanamura.
There goes the anti-nade onto Emerson, I'm going to say, Plague and Ultimate, followed by Gloveman taking out. All the members of Boise State are just joining in the fun. Duper is just out in no man's land, does not like that situation, and they're going to be looking for the stagger here as they chase after this Echo. Plato is in hot pursuit, if you will. He wants to make sure no members now of Cameron University try to get some sort of sneaky flank and get some person onto that point, at least to stall it out. See, Gob has swapped over to the Tracer here, as almost has that pulse bomb as another Dragon Strike is thrown out by Maxwell, takes out Proxy, and look out there, that Lucio needs to get away from Maxwell. Look out for Plague, too, is taken out by the minefield that has been dropped by Plato. Nerdy Bird also using that Gravitic Flux and Amplification Matrix thrown down by Asu. Cameron University is just going to have to use this Gravitic Flux to try to keep this going, is able to take large bagel in it, but just throws the anti-nade right back on him in mid-air, is going to say, nope, we're going to win this second map, and there is nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, Cameron University did not have a chance with that final push, as with 20 seconds on the board, they had over 4 ultimates on the side of Boise State, so things were not looking good for them. So Boise State is going to take Assault going into Escort coming up.
Well, the Idaho Army National Guard is a proud supporter of Boise State Esports, and they invite you to take your critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. So now this is a best of 5. We have only one more match to go. And looking at the clock, actually, I think we just might want to just not even take a break and just head right into that match. And the next one is going to be Escort match point for Boise State. We'll see what map has been chosen very soon here. See if Boise State just can't close this out.
Yeah, and as it says, map loser picks the next one. So going into Escort, I'm definitely curious what Cameron might pick as their comfort pick. So going right next into it, I'm curious if they might even change up their team comp, or if Doc might even bring in his own team comp again. Yes, this isn't Hanamura, but it performed so well on Hanamura that they could easily do it again on the Escort with the hard defensive Boise's defending first rather than attacking. So in map picks wise, we've seen a lot of different Escorts. I personally would love to see Route 66. That is just something that since day one of Overwatch, I've always enjoyed the most. What about you, Jim?
Ooh, we've seen. Well, I was just thinking. Okay, what I was thinking is, please don't be Dorado, because that seems to be the one we always see. But of course, it's Dorado. So let's just tear the Band-Aid off and get into the match as soon as we can. I don't want to complain too much about what has been chosen. I will say this about Dorado, though, and once we hop into it, I will point it out. But overall, yeah, Dorado. That's been a map that Boise State, I think the other team, the best that they did against Boise State in the previous match was only getting to checkpoint 1, and Boise State stopped them at checkpoint 2. So this is definitely a map that Boise State is used to. I think that they have a very good chance of just closing this out in a 3-0 victory. Let's get into the match and see what happens.
Yeah, this is definitely where we're going to see a lot of verticality, as already we're going to see Cameron bring back, or Boise State this time now on the blue side. We're going to see Gob and Asu on that Echo Mercy play, not Pharah this time around. And it looks like Cameron's going to go for a more of a possibly pirate ship with the Bastion. So he is going to be protect the president situation, and they just have to burn through that Reinhardt shield as the second tank is the Diva this time around, so they don't have that barrier to hold down. And then already Boise State's jumping on top of it with Plato on this Winston here to cause as much havoc as he can. Same with Maxwell, going to throw as much dynamite as he can and light them all on fire so they spread apart. But it looks like Gob is going to get taken out by Proxy with the large bagel, immediately able to get that refrag onto Proxy. So things starting off well for Boise State.
Cameron University is still managing to push it forward with the Silent Diva there. It's just going to get Plato right in their face and take them out. But now they're getting to that very crucial choke point under the archway, and Maxwell is going to be res by Asu, putting Boise State back up. Well, nope, I guess Proxy is just going to say, nice res, I'm just going to negate it right there. Maxwell's going to get a bit of revenge, though, I suppose, with that dynamite, getting ultimate out of the way there. So both teams should be back up to even strength. I actually think Boise State has respawned full strength right now. Asu going very low on health, is very close to that Valkyrie. And also with the large bagel has managed to charge up their ultimate. Gob taken out by Proxy, who has been doing great work on this Bastion, but they need to start moving that point. And that's really kind of the tough thing about Pirate Ship, is like, you set it up initially, but once you get taken out for that first time, it can be very hard to get the momentum running again back in your favor. As we're just seeing with this Primal Rage, Plato just more than content to just push Cameron University off the point.
Yeah, Boise State's not going to let them push an inch, as they've just been controlling this high ground this whole time, with Cameron University constantly just pushing towards the cart and not really putting any variability on their attack starts. And finally, they're going to see a changeup of that team comp with now Gloveman on the Orisa and Ultimate on this Reaper. So hopefully going to be able to teleport up top and contest the high ground, as we're going to see immediately right as Plato jumps away, and the duplicate is just going to clean up that back line.
I love that strategy. Use the Echo mobility to make your way up to the rooftop, copy the Bastion, and just rain down on Cameron University with that tank also picking up. I think that was a quadra kill there. What an insane play by Gob. Of course, I'm not surprised to see him be great on the Bastion. That's Boise State's terror out of their pocket right there. It's taken out. Oh, I see some teleports there.
Yeah, not what you want to see from the side of Cameron University as they teleport onto the balcony, not even like 5 feet away from them inside of the rooftop where Gob actually was. So we're going to see all the ultimates come out here from both sides, as the grab came out from Nerdy, and then the tank came out from Proxy, the res coming out from Asu onto Plato. Things are not looking good for Cameron.
No, not in the slightest, and they are just going to have to try to group back and think of some way that they can take 5 steps without getting pelted by every sort of damage here. That anti-nade is going to go onto 3 members of Cameron, and with the help of that dynamite taking out Ultimate Plague, Duper and Gloveman are all going to bite the dust. Proxy's trying the best he can on this Bastion, but you know, when you got Gob, who's really the best Bastion of this match, I don't know how much he can do. Nice pick there with that Ana. Not going to be too disrespected. But look, oh no. Not Gob. What are you even doing there? Just stop. See, you tried to play with your food and you paid for it right there. This is going to be the one chance for Cameron to at least try to push onto the point. They do manage to get two. They have brought it to overtime. Boise State without Asu now. Large Bagel is evening it up by taking out Ultimate, but Nerdy Bird is going to be taken out by Duper as Cameron University manages to maintain a small advantage here. Large Bagel eliminated by Emerson. And now look at Plato there, just waiting behind that archway. Boise State is just going to wait for the full reset. They do have the time to wait before this first checkpoint to take Cameron out.
Yeah, Cameron played that fantastically. We saw the Valkyrie come out from both sides with Asu and Plague pulling it out, and it really kept them alive. They were able to use Proxy with that Widow and get a couple eliminations and contest high ground, which is definitely what they needed. But now Plato's on top of the cart with Primal Rage. He's going to be an issue to take care of as he goes right in for the Mercy, but he gets him off the cart, and that's it. They only got 71.52 meters.
I mean, all you need to do is get them off that cart. You don't necessarily have to take them all out. If you can just use your Primal Rage and just all swat them off, that works too. Now, here's the one thing I don't want to see Cameron University do is right before this plaza, you know, you have that vantage point over the clock tower. We have seen some a team and kind of, I don't know if it was a rage quit, but just kind of wait up on that upper level and just watch Boise State push the payload through as if they were watching a parade or something. They set up their lawn chairs, got out their big gulps, and just were happy to wave Boise State on to victory. So I don't think Cameron University is going to take exactly that game plan, because if you give Boise State any sort of opportunity to push any sort of distance, they're going to take that. So you can't be too passive here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to come down to the wire for Cameron, as this is match point for Boise State and game point in this best of 5. So Cameron with this Widow was the one time they really won a team fight, was able to push the cart. So now on the defense, we're going to see if it pays off for them with Maxwell now on the Symmetra, with Nerdy and Plato returning to their tank roles of the Winston, and Zarya with now a Large Bagel back on the Ana, and
this is what I didn't want to see.
On the Mercy with Gob still on that Echo. So they're going to go to contest that high ground unless Proxy is able to get some amazing headshots and going to get some early poke damage onto Plato. Things are not going to turn out well for them.
Yeah, I mean, they're just giving Boise State complete free reign over this first corner. Boise State is just happy to, you know, unless you can get a pick or two right off the bat, it's just such a passive strategy against Boise State that they are more than happy to basically get halfway to where they need it to go in less than 10 seconds. When you have this little space to play with, I'm not really this much of a fan of just standing back and watching Boise State go on by. And Boise State has been picking up Cameron University one after the other as Gob gets a pick there. Ultimate going very low on health, taken out by Nerdy Bird. Did manage to pick up a Large Bagel, but Bagel was res there. Boise State at full strength. Looks like they're going to quite effortlessly go into this parking spot and end it right here, right now. They just need to stop Proxy and Duper from stalling it out. They are very close, pushing it forward again, one after the other. It is just desperation tactics from Cameron University. Copy going on to the Wrecking Ball there is just going to bowl right through them, take them out. Boise State wins this a 3-0.
Boise State having that dominating play that we know and love them for. As we're going to jump into the third match of the night, Boise State wins the play versus. I believe we are going back into Tespa, actually. So going into Tespa for the third match.
Actually, NACE, excuse me.
There you go, he knows. So congrats to Boise winning their play versus against Cameron University. Cameron tried to put up a fight, but that was actually our 600th win for the program as Boise State for the esports. So Boise State, consistency is what we want to see, and with 600 wins, that's consistent.
Boise State, as an esports program, as any college program, has been kind of no other college program in Boise State history has gotten this many wins this fast. So a great congratulations to the Broncos. It is well deserved. And we do not have much time to reflect on this, though, because we have got a live match in NACE. I mean, very soon. But just any final thoughts that you want to give to this fight against Cameron University?
Dominating performance by Boise. It's never been said before, and it will never be said again, right? So going into this next NACE match that we're in a tournament that we've been casting very consistently, I hope we see a continuation of it. Fatigue is definitely an issue that we can see coming through these players, but we have never seen it be a factor before. It's always something to think about, but it's never been something that's like, oh, we can attribute that up to the fatigue. It's Boise State. This is a high-level play. It's something you have to account for and just be ready for as a player. So I'm very excited to see how NACE will turn out for Boise State.
Well, you're not going to want to miss our live match in NACE. Starts at 8 o'clock, so just 5 minutes basically. So take a quick break, get some snacks, and be ready to join us back here. We will see if Boise can make it 601 wins right after this break.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome to the Boise State Game Pants Arena. You're watching our coverage of NACE Collegiate Overwatch. It has been Overwatch all night as we have started out in ABC, or rather Tespa, and then we have moved on to PlayVS. Now we are ready to jump into NACE, a tournament that has already gotten quite a few weeks under his belt. I'm still your host, Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Michael Fisher. And there you look, Boise State is looking to pick up a win tonight against Lubbock Christian. And here we go. This is the tournament we have been following since its beginning, and Boise State, quite a force to reckon with.
Hi, everybody. I'm Michael Fisher. Joining who? I don't know. It's been a long night.
It has been. Well, you know what? I'll give you a little bit of time to regain your composure. I think this would be a good time to go back over the rules. Just kind of reset and set the stage for what we're dealing with here. This is the NACE Overwatch tournament. Is going to be best of 5. And in terms of the order of the modes. It's something we're a little bit more used to. We're not seeing kind of that weird assault in the second map format. It is going to be control, hybrid, escort, then assault, and then another control map if necessary, starting out on Nepal. And now that you've taken a little bit of time to regain your thoughts, what can you tell us about this particular match?
I mean, we've seen Boise State and Nepal before. They are very dominant. They love their environmental eliminations, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Lucio, possibly the return of the Roadhog as we saw in the previous NACE match that we casted. So I would absolutely love to see the return of him. As we saw just prior in our other games, Roadhog has been kind of a controversial pick, not being able to hold that front line as consistently as we want him to. But Boise State not really always going for that Roadhog. They definitely want to go for more of the meta picks, traditional of like the Sigorissa, the Winston Zarya, or the Rhine Zarya, for more of the dive, double bubble, assault, double shield. And it looks like they're going to go for Ilios instead. So that was our fault on the end of production. So going right into Ilios, this is
throw them under the bus.
Yeah, no, 100% not our fault. It's fine. But still, this is still environmental eliminations where we can see Boise State shine. But they did not bring a Lucio this time, but they did bring the Roadhog. So with Kel on this Roadhog, I hope to see a couple environmental eliminations as we're going to open right into with Gob getting the first blood.
You know what? I'm going to say that
top.
was intentional. Probably he was just trying to get the angle. And he does still manage to pick up Quake, so I would say he's doing a pretty good job. Dewey also eliminated by Goblarge Bagel, getting rid of Juice there. Crazy Doc very low on health. That is not our Doc, just as a quick disclaimer. Lubbock Christian is going to be held right to this choke point. This poor Pilot Diva. Boise State is not going to let her get away, putting even more of a stagger onto Lubbock as they have taken the point.
Yeah, we also now have Frost playing a DPS for us this time, so Maxall has been subbed out for this game. So Boise State now playing with a sub member could possibly make a little difference for LCU, but so far Boise State likes their dominating play as LCU tries to make their way to the point with Plato being that stereotypical wrecking ball, causing as much chaos as he can.
Already Crazy Doc is going to be eliminated, but Plato is taken out by Juice there. The Reds is going to be going on to Dewey. Actually, here goes the double from Frost. A pulse bomb onto two of them. Kel is also going to use that hook to push Delaney right off the edge of the map. Great job by Boise State, not managing to slip even a little.
First environmental kill for Kel on this Roadhog. Love to see it, and I hope to see even more, especially against a Diva who could possibly save herself with it if she had her boosters not on cooldown. So LCU's definitely going to have a fun time going into this next push with Plato opening up with the mines and ground pound here. Going to cause as much chaos and push them forward right into that whole hog from Kel.
They're just all trapped in this little alleyway here. Dewey taken out, and the rest of them just fall one after the other. A conga line of pain for LCU. Boise State, the clock ticking past 85%. I don't know if they're even going to be able to get to the point. They might just try to throw out a few ultimates here to try to get there. That's exactly what they're going to do with the photon barrier here. Can one of them at least touch it? Yes, they did. So now this is their last chance to try to turn this around. But E taken out by Frost. There goes the Diva Bomb out from Delaney. Not going to get any of the Broncos. Instead, Juice and Dewey eliminated. Kel also going to be taking out Crazy Doc. Wait, also taken out by Frost. One more to be taken out for Boise State to win this. Just waiting for that Pilot Diva to head out of the suit. Takes her out in an instant, and that's the win for Boise State.
Boise State keeping that dominating gameplay, pushing forward, even able to eliminate the Lamp and the BAP in after match slow-mo. So definitely trying to drill down LCU and say, we're not going to let you get an inch. So going into control map 2 on Ilios. This is definitely going to be the high ground map of who's ever in that control point box is going to have hell rain down on them. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bit of Mercy combo play here from either side, as it usually tends to work out very well. Same with some snipers. We usually tend to see a Widow or Ashe, but it looks like we're going to see neither, and we're going to see Frost on a Sombra Love to see teams playing Sabra now, especially since she's getting a rework in Overwatch 2. Play her while you can before they change her for good. Same with that Bastion. So now going into the match, we're going to see Nerdy return to support now, no longer on tank. We did not mention that prior. Oh, Frost, but it looks like Gob's actually going to get the first elimination, followed quickly by Plato.
Gob also taking out Quake, Cal following it up onto Dewey. The rest of their members very low on health. Doc and Delaney also taken out. Actually looks like Doc managed to escape there just a little bit. No, he's not going to. That's a nasty stagger, and Boise State gets the first choice here. No, and Gob loves these sort of cheeky plays, so you can tell if they don't know that he's there, which, well, actually, now that he has Kel with them, it's going to be a bit more noticeable. So no chance there for some sort of sneaky play. Instead, they're just going to go right on to this first choke and try to rain as much damage as they can onto LCU. And Kel is taken out with that flame strike. That's a great start. Gal, look at that Death Blossom! A quad Death Blossom! That is what every Reaper dreams of, and a team wipe. Give it to the DPS, okay? I mean, I know, Reapers are known for bragging about how much they're doing when they only have a silver in eliminations, but that one's quite deserved. Well done, job.
Yeah, we got the quad Death Blossom quickly followed up by the Penta elimination, and then Plato on that Diva got the team kill for Boise State, and is going to get a double elimination with that self-destruct. Boise State not going to let LCU leave their spawn more than a couple feet. Having this high ground is definitely where this Ilios match shines, and they're going to stagger this baby Diva the best they can with her having minimal health and even getting healed by the team. So without having that mech, they're probably going to have to go for the reset, but she's able to farm it back up. But right in the back lane, Frost is able to get the EMP, Nerdy quickly following up behind with the Coalescence, and we're going to get another team wipe.
Well, I see what LCU's strategy is here, and I can't necessarily blame them for it. This is going to be quite insane. Everything that is thrown down, it's going to start out the Amplification Matrix, going to be using Tactical Visor as well as Shatter, and the Diva Bomb as well as the Beat. Everyone is just pressing you as they can. Here goes the Death Blossom, though. Another double from Gob, because why not? They're just going to get their own kill with the Diva Bomb. That has just got to bite you. Throw down all your ultimates at the same time. You don't really get anyone, and then the other team with their 1 or 2 ultimates just gets a double onto you. So just pack it up. This is the point where I would just rage quit myself. Boise State is unstoppable, getting the first victory against Lubbock Christian.
Yeah,
and of course, do we need to debate?
It wasn't a point of contention at all. There was no question in our mind that this quad was going to be it. Even Penta, if it lasts long enough to see, they thought that Immortality Field would keep them alive, and it simply did not. So going into the next match here, because that was such a dominating performance, Boise State is going to keep this ball rolling.
Well, if you want to join Boise State Esports, and we're always looking for talented players, production, and broadcast, you can apply, and top talent along with good grades and eligibility will earn you scholarships as well. You can sign up today by visiting boisestate.edu/esports for more information. Again, we do have Valorant also. Just that graphic doesn't imply it, but Overwatch, League of Legends, Rocket League, and Valorant are our main games. And of course, we have a lot of special events like the Rumble we just had the Rumble that we had last weekend on Saturday in Guilty Gear Strive of all games. So you can never count out anything that we are up to here at Boise State Esports. But overall, just any final thoughts on that last match? What can LCU do?
It's definitely a point of question of what can they do, as Boise State definitely seems to be the higher seed and the higher skill team in this matchup. So maybe it was just control of Ilios. Maybe it was just not what you want to see from the team on their side, and they're just warming up. So,
well, I do not know what I am hearing on the stage. I think now would be a good time for us to just all take a break. So we'll be back after this.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Yep. Welcome back to the Boise State Game Pass Esports Arena. You're watching our coverage of NACE Collegiate Overwatch. We just saw Boise State get a win on map 1. And now the losing team, Love Christian, will get the map choice on Hybrid. So I think we might be hearing something through the grapevine. So I'm going to throw it over to my co-caster, Brenner Bear. Brenner, what are you hearing in terms of what map might be chosen for the second map?
Numbani. So going into Numbani, I would definitely hope we see something like the Torb up top, because Boise State loves playing their high ground with the verticality play. It's something that we experience in Siege all the time. So seeing it in Overwatch is definitely something that I am used to and enjoy watching, as the attacking team definitely has that uphill battle, because if they try to push through that corridor on the side on Numbani, Boise State can jump right on them and pinch them in that tiny hallway, or if they try to go right through the center, they're going to have all the fire rain down on them. So it's definitely going to be an issue going into this matchup between Boise State and LCU.
Here we go. We're going to see who chose what side very soon here.
I believe we are defending first, as we won the match and they picked the map and we had the preference of the side. So I believe we are defending first, but don't quote me on it, as we have been wrong in the past.
It would make sense, because Boise State has been a team that's been performing so well. You know, you can see why they would want to defend. Just don't let them get any single tick. Take it with one tick yourself and you're done.
We're also seeing the Roadhog, so that makes me think on the defense, Kel is on that Roadhog. Definitely a comfort pick for him based off last match on Ilios. Was a dominating force, got that environmental kill that I absolutely love to see. We're going to see the return of Zen and Orisa as well. So definitely seems like the Boise State roster immediately going for that high ground. Same with this Ashe, so we have yet to have that board brought up. And here we are. The Torb comes back as well, but it looks like Kel is now on the DPS with Nerdy on support. Frost swapping over. Same with Gob on tank. So it looks like the tanks and DPS swap roles.
I think now I know why. Before we threw it to a break, Boise State was going insane up on the stage. The Broncos were, so a nice little role change would certainly get them in good spirits. And look at Frost and Gob here. They still want to, you know, they might be on tanks, but they're still DPSs at heart, getting all of the eliminations up against LCU, just forcing them right back to where they came. Dewey is eliminated by Frost. Kel is going to take out the Diva Mech, as well as Crazy Doc being eliminated by Frost. That's just going to have to be a whole reset. Are they going to try to get any sort of snipe onto that baby Diva? Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, if it's one thing we know Boise State is going to want to do on this defense in such a dominating matchup is going to be hold W, run into their spawn, and get as many eliminations as you can, as we've seen them do so far. Kel's definitely trying to get the eliminations on the rotations right now with this. Ashe is going to be able to pick up Quake, make it a two-piece, getting that baby Diva as well with the help of that Plato on the Zen. So it looks like he and Large Bagel also swapped, so Large Bagel now on the Genji DPS. Boise State, make sure to not play with your food, because they have yet to even push up as they eliminate both supports. from LCU.
Oh, wow. That is just such great team play from the Broncos, just perfectly coordinating the halt and the hook. They are doing such a great job pushing LCU back to their spawn. Boise State is just more than content to farm up all of their ultimates. They are going to have so much available to them for this next choice. Of course, we don't quite see. The thing that's farthest off actually is going to be Bagel with his Genji Blade. So Nano Blade still not online quite yet, but Boise State would be more than happy to use a Supercharger. Gets taken out by Dewey actually right away, but Boise State, who needs a Supercharger when you got a whole hog to just tear right through LCU? Gob contributing to that team kill. What a great job for the Broncos.
Unless we see a better play right there, that will be play of the game, no question, as Nanoblade now comes online. Hop and Frost, the only ones to use their ults in that fight, with LCU holding on to them. Has a great anti-lands on 3 members of LCU, followed by an elimination by Nerdy, and a large bagel going in with the Blade. Nanoblade online and is causing hell.
Yep, great job again for the Broncos. Oh, yeah, you got another triple. Wow, wasn't expecting that at all. Well, LCU is going to have just under a minute now left to try to get at least 1 tick. But here we go. Okay, this is their one chance. If there is any push where they are going to have the resources that they need to get through, it is going to have to be this one. They're going to rotate out far away here, try to push through this near handway. They're just gonna get the shatter. Boise State gets a shatter right to the face. Plato and Gob are taken out, followed by Frost. They are 3 down now, and now the Blizzard, and they're just using everything now. And I mean, sure, that gets Kel as well, but it is a pure all-in strategy. Look at Bob, though, coming to the rescue for Boise State. Oh, Bob, MVP, preventing that 1 tick from LCU from even being gotten. Are you kidding me? That gives enough time for Boise State to come back to the point. Oh my goodness, that is insane. Bob, the 7th man for Boise State University. What a great play by the Broncos.
Yeah, that Ash was definitely the key player there, because once she brought Bob in, who everyone wanted the next character to be, it's absolutely fantastic. LCU didn't even acknowledge him. They just jumped over him, and he got a double elimination as well. We all know that's play of the game.
Well, and also I think that was a big mistake from LCU, actually. They had already gotten 3 Broncos out of the way. They still had 3 ultimates that they could have kept, but they had committed so much to let's just use all our ultimates at the same time that I only have to wonder if they had just saved and been a little bit more conscientious of, hey, we've already won the fight here, let's save these ultimates for, you know, hey, if another person, say Bob, comes onto the field, maybe we can use something there. So I think they were just a little bit too gung-ho using everything.
I mean, they were definitely just throw everything you possibly can at the side of a barn wall, and eventually you'll hit it, but you definitely overcommitted to it. So now with the Boise State on attack, things aren't looking good for LCU after their own attack.
And I think it's very interesting seeing how great the Roadhog has been for Boise State. I mean, of course, it's nice that he doesn't give as much ult charge to the other team, but you know, if you're going to use a hero like Roadhog, you know, you got to have the skills to back it up, because Roadhog, you know, his name lives up. He's kind of a hog in terms of his role in the team. He's a very selfish tank. He doesn't provide any sort of shield to the other players. He doesn't have anything he can throw on, like, say, a Zarya. So if you're playing Roadhog, you need to be very good at landing those hooks and getting those picks. Boise State has been so good at that. That's what's allowed them to get a great performance with the Roadhog. But right now, it looks like Frost is going to be changing over to the Wrecking Ball. Large Bagel is just going to be using this Bastion to get a double. Make it 3, though. It's just going to mow down this Reinhardt shield. Now focus on to Quake, and then just quickly move on to the other team members. Well, okay. That's 1 tick gotten for Boise State. Congrats. We're done.
As that is map number 2 of Numbani, now swapping over to, I believe, just Escort for the 3rd. Large Bagel gets play of the game on that Bastion. I wonder what it could be. Oh, wait, that's right.
What we just saw.
Exactly what we just saw of him just having a point-and-click adventure of this Bastion. enjoy it while you can, because Overwatch 2 is going to take it away from him, sadly, but he will be mobile. So exciting things to come as Boise State makes it a 2-0. Will they make it a 3-0? We'll have to wait and see.
Well, the Idaho Army National Guard is a proud supporter of Boise State Esports. Top plays are presented by the Idaho Army National Guard. They invite you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is the best team to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. I want to bring your attention, Brenner, to a new chart that we have showing why Boise State is having such a great performance. We have the newest coaches poll in the NACE Star League. Boise State still managing to hang in the top 5.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Why haven't we faced the other 5-0 teams? That's what I want to know.
That's a great point.
LCU is not on this list, and yet we're facing them anyway, and we're at the 4th seed? Like, where's all the other 5-0 matchups? This is what I want to see.
I don't know. Is it just NACE Star League is just trying to arrange the whole tournament bracket so that in like 5 weeks we'll see 5 teams with a 10-0 victory? I just don't know.
I would love to see that. That would be quite interesting, as we're going to head over to a break before jumping into match 3 in this best of 5.
Yep, we'll see if Boise State can make it 6-0 right after this.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. You are watching Boise State's live match against Lubbock Christian University in Overwatch. Boise State is now 2-0 and is looking to be closing out this match in undefeated streak, bringing their overall record in the NACE season to 6-0. But we'll have to just see if that happens. I'm still your host, Jacob Jen Palmer, still joined by Brenner Bear Ladd. And Brenner, I know that you have been rooting so much for any sort of variety whatsoever in the escort map choice, but that is not going to happen tonight, is it?
No, as we were told, the next map is Dorado, your true love of a map, as we all know. because this is the Paris equivalent for an escort map, as it is just played so consistently. Same with Kings Row on hybrid. So going into Dorado, there's only so much we could talk about because we just saw it in the previous matchup.
Paris is played consistently because I don't think it can be played consistently at this
It can't
point.
be in quick match.
It can't be a quick match. So there you go. It's the quick match equivalent of play consistency.
That's what I call it.
I mean, at this point, I'd prefer it over Dorado for the 10th time. I know so many people are screaming at their monitors saying, you know, don't you realize what you're wishing for? Yes, I do, and I would just want any sort of variety, even Paris at this point.
And this is LCU's map pick, as loser does get to pick the map, and they are a 5-0 team in NACE, is what I was told in between the break as well. So this is a 5-0-5-0 matchup.
I mean, it wouldn't still surprise me because NACE, you know, for this season, forming this new Star League in collaboration with so many other organizations has brought the sheer number of teams competing in this tournament to an astounding level. So we might just have to wait a few more weeks for it to whittle down to those top 10 teams that we were talking about. But right now, here we go. Starting out on attack. See what they want. Looks like it's going to be Ryan Diva composition. And we are actually seeing Boise State swapping roles again. Nerdy has been placed on DPS as well as Plato.
Yeah, we're also Kel's on the support again with a large bagel on tanking role. Boise State just swapping it up the best they can, but it doesn't matter as Plato's going to start off with a triple with followed by a large bagel able to take out Juice as well. They like that verticality play. They're not going for the Winston this time, but with the Echo and No Mercy, it could be an issue if LCU is able to pull things together and do something here. For their Ryan does have 50% towards that Shatter, same with their Baptiste on the amplification matrix. They're able to get onto Cart, but with all the bullets raining down, including the beam from Plato, they're able to take out Doc.
Look at Plato here putting all this pressure on as McCree gets stunned. Juice is actually going to be able to take out Plato. Just a little bit of tit for tat as Gob takes Juice back in revenge. They're focusing down, using this Hulk to try to pin this Lucio down here. Crazy Doc is going to be able to escape, actually trying to go the long way around here, go just basically completely around the cart without even touching it, because that's just the point that they're at to try to think of anything to stop Boise State. Kel's going to get his double as well as Creation taking out Quake. Crazy Doc, with the help of that Orb of Discord, is also taken out by Plato. Seems like LCU just can't make any strategy work right now.
I will be 100% honest. I didn't even notice LCU had the Soldier until he ulted, and then I saw him get hit by Sigma's Rock and just die immediately. So things aren't turning out so well for LCU, as the duplicate from Plato's going to come in on the right heart in the back line. Probably going to get a great shatter first onto Quake, but is going to get taken out of the duplicate and charged by Dewey right into that wall. But Nerdy's going to throw out her own dual dragons and is able to get her own. But LCU's got the ults, and they're going to use Sound Barrier right out of the spawn door just to try to touch that cart once again, as they have yet to get an elimination onto Boise State in this team fight, as Nerdy with the scouting arrow is able to take out Crazy Doc.
Dewey is also eliminated by Frost. Kel following that up. Delaney doesn't even get any time after he's ejected out of the mech to catch his breath. Just Boise State bowling over them again. Large Bagel really loving that rock, though, to get his eliminations, I have to say. It's like the Torb Hammer. I just want to see the challenge of just everyone try to get the elimination only using the rock.
It's satisfying when you get it done. It's just one of those things of when it happens, you're just like, I did this. I've accomplished this. And so all the ults are being thrown out.
And then the Gravitic. Look at Gob there with the triple on the Baptiste. What are you even going to do at this point? LCU, it's not like they can go with the strategy of saving up 6 ultimates and then using them. They try that all at once, and then the Boise State support got a triple onto them. So I don't know what to say at this point.
Like, they went for the high noon Deadeye play with Amplification Matrix, yet Gob was behind them the whole time, focusing down that McCree. They didn't even have that Mortality Field to keep the McCree alive long enough, so he could use the Deadeye. It was just a brutal scene to watch as LCU in this 5-0 team v team situation has yet to really show really good signs of life. They've just been constantly losing members, and very consistently Crazy Doc has been the first one to go. And now in quick time, they can still see the cart from their spawn.
I hear production still gasping and awing at all these plays. I just have to ask, what is it that's so special about this? The other team can't make it out of their spawn. Boise State is just taking them one out at a time. It's what we've been seeing all night, frankly.
But it's live.
But it's live.
But
yes.
it's live.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be this salty against you, production. I just want to see a decent match at this point. Well, it looks like we're not going to see that. And LCU, okay, LCU cannot, for my complete sanity here, they cannot set up this vantage point of like this sniper vantage point and just hang out before that arch there and just give Boise State all this ground. There is no ground to give Boise State, okay? It's 10 steps to the parking spot, and Boise State has it. You're going to have to get right up in their spawn and stop them.
Yeah, this is the moment of LCU is no longer going to be an undefeated team in the NACE, as Boise State's just going to have to push it a whole 31 meters. So they eliminate, they get one team fight, they'll probably take it. LCU should go full stall here. They at least have the Mayfor and the Briggs, so they're just going to brawl as closely as they can. The Diva is going to mainly contest that high ground with the Nerdy, and a large Bagel going to be able to cause some chaos with Plato's just going to throw as many nades as he can. This is not going to end well for LCU as they know where they are. They saw you walk into that doorway. How do you think this is going to end well?
Oh, they're just pushing all the bombs they can indoors here. What is even happening? A quadruple anti-nade with this Junkrat just running roughshod over the... Even on the... Even in his death, he takes out Dewey with those bombs. It's just insane. Boise State, just end this right now. End this clown fiesta.
It's all over.
Get your 3-0 victory. Boise State winning it undefeated yet again for the 6th week in a row. I'm just not saying that this is becoming a bit of a routine here, but hey, it's a routine that the Broncos are more than willing to have. Frost is going to pick up the play of the game on Orisa. Which, oh, it's them forcing them right into spawn again. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? I would never have made that prediction.
He got a whole one elimination, but assisted with everything there. So, Boise State, the winner. No one would have ever thumped it.
I mean, despite my decreasing sanity at this point, congratulations to the Broncos. 3-0 victory, another undefeated match. And the question I had has certainly been fulfilled. Boise State goes to 6-0 in the NACE Star League. We'll see who they go up against next week. But right now, if you want to be seen by top talent, the esports industry insiders, then you are definitely going to head to esportstower.com. You can score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure, and you'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Okay, so Brenner, do you have a favorite moment that you would like to say there? Because there were so many. I will say, for a large Bagel, you know, when you're a support player and all of these other players just consistently get player of the game and the plays of the game and all of that, where you're just sitting back in the support role, to be able to finally get it on a Bastion, no less. I have to think that's some sort of poetic justice for him.
I mean, especially on a Bastion, no less. It's the point-and-click hero on the DPS. So going from a support to point-and-click, you're definitely going to have a grand time, especially when they just completely ignored you. Like, that Ashe tried to deal as much damage as she could to him, and he just looked at her and she died. So it was definitely a wonderful thing to see. And favorite moment of this matchup would probably be the fact that they never got out of spawn ever, and then Boise State consistently won the team fight. We saw 2 team wipes in that matchup alone. So it's from the Boise State we want to see.
Well, now it's time to move on to the ICCU player of the game. And it's a little bit harder this time around since everyone was swapping roles so much. So player of the game, you might see all three plays are just in all three different roles. It could be a possibility tonight. So I would say anyone is up for it because everyone had the opportunity to make insane plays.
Yeah, everyone had their moment no matter what role they were playing. I mean, this is why Boise State is at a 6-0. It's why they're undefeated this school semester. It's why they've been such a top dog in these leagues, is that anyone can have that player of the game role. Anyone could play any role and still perform excellently at it, even if it's not a full A-team roster with a couple B-team substitutes. They played very well. So going into this player of the game, it's going to be Gob, which is no surprise.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I can hear the Broncos behind me, and one of them just said, oh, come on. Even when they're swapping roles, there is no stopping Gob. I mean, of course, with a Death Blossom like this, it's not surprising.
Yeah, even when not playing Doomfist, he is a player you want to fear. So hats off to Gob once again being the ICCU player of the game.
It's brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Gob is your Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. And he was doing a great job also on this Roadhog here. I think you said it when it happened, Brenner, that has to be, player of the game material.
Yeah, when you can do that in any role, it is definitely what you want to see from your players. Of they need to have that versatility to play all the roles, understand them, and then when they play their own roles of DPS in his situation, he knows how to counter him, because what would he do in that situation? And that's what you should expect in this higher level of play for this league, since both teams were 5-0. So definitely hats off to Gob winning player of the game.
Well, I just got to say, Brenner, in that double screen, the graphic we have that shows both of us at the same time with the clock in the lower right corner, if you take a look at it, it's 8:35. It was only 35 minutes to win that whole game. So we have plenty of time left, and I think we should use some of that time to talk to one of the members of the Broncos on that win and just how the overall season is going. So we will be right back with an exclusive interview with one of the Broncos after this to talk about their victory.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
That scared me.
back to the Boise State Game Pants Arena. We have just seen Boise State get another victory in the NACE Star League Overwatch tournament. And because they finished in such short notice, we have plenty of time to actually check in with one of the members of the Broncos Overwatch team. And none other than Gob. And I have to say, before this match, yes?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. I just have to say, before we actually came back on the air from the break, he actually said, "What just happened? I can't even remember." One of the persons said, "Oh, you had a great game in your second game of the night," and he was like, "What game? I'm just playing. It's all such a blur." And frankly, I don't really blame him, because how do I differentiate between the games that you've played tonight? Do I say, oh, was it the game that you went 3-0 in? Oh, was it the game you went 3-0 in? Was it the other game you went 3-0 in? You have just, and the rest of the Broncos have been unstoppable throughout this season. So I just have to ask, what is going on with you all? I mean, what's the general mood? How has it been with you and all your other teammates?
We've all been really excited to play, especially I think, what are we in, week 8 of school? First couple of weeks were a little slow, but we've been having quite a few matches recently, so we've been together a lot, and it's been a lot of fun. We've been playing really well. And as far as matches being a blur, we play so many matches. I'm kind of just treat everybody the same, show up, do your job, leave, and we all have been kind of doing it, and it's been working. But yeah, we've just been having a lot of fun, doing our thing.
Well, how is it for you? Because we normally see you so much on DPS making these big plays, but even if you're swapping off onto Roadhog, you're just managing to still manage to steal player of the game. Might I say, to some of the other players' chagrin. So I just have to talk about that a little bit. What's it like doing all these role swaps and being in games when you really can do that and really just having fun with that?
We all have a lot of fun with it because it's just, something a little bit different than the ordinary play your role, play your comp, blah, blah, blah. I kind of have a sweet spot with my heroes where every hero I play is like a frag hero in a sense. Like if I play support, I play Baptiste, and Baptiste is basically just DPS support. I play Hog. Hog is just big flanker DPS. So it's every time I off roll, I just play the heroes that look the flashiest. So
I mean, it's almost as if it's a diabolical plan you have to, no matter what role you play, you're always going to get player of the game. You will not be content until you have a monopoly on all of the replays, basically.
Of course.
Well, I just have to say, what's it been like? Because here on the stage, actually, you're looking at it right now, just to our left, we have the PlayVS Overwatch Championship, and you've been around, what's it been like having so many tournaments under your belt and just now champions? Because last semester was such a great one in getting the victory in the Mountain West Championships, getting the victory in the PlayVS Championships. I just have to say, how does that kind of factor into your overall mental place in practicing and scrimming? Does Doc kind of have to keep bringing you back down to earth in a ways?
Occasionally, yeah. Sometimes we get a little silly in scrimmages or even in matches. When you play so much, it kind of takes a toll on everybody's mentals. But we've, over, I'd say the past couple weeks especially, gotten a lot better at just, staying focused while we're playing and stuff. And, that kind of resulted in us doing really well. We take our opportunities in practice and especially in matches. And together we've, won a couple big matches and stuff. Recently we went to where we got Harrisburg, and we placed top 8 in that tournament, and that was full of some of the biggest teams, and things like that, and then winning PlayVS and all that. It's a real morale boost, and it kind of helps keep us focused. And
right. Well, actually, speaking about top teams, I don't know if we can bring that back up, the coaches poll, because we were just talking about the top teams in the NACE Star League, and some of the teams that are currently ranked at the top of the bracket are teams that you went up against in Hugh Invitational. Northwood being one of them. They're still kind of lurking, being undefeated themselves in this overall tournament. So what are you doing anything to kind of study the top teams, basically? Are there any things that you're really, in terms of strategy, or things that you really want to clean up in your performance that you're really focusing on in scrims right now?
I think as far as individual team goes, we don't really, occasionally we prep for specific teams, but a lot of it's just working on ourselves to be the best that we can be, because, you can prepare as much as you want for another team, but you're not there for their practices. You're not there for everything, so you don't actually know what they're going to do. You can kind of guess, right? But the best way to prepare is to prepare yourself and play the best like you can and like your team can, more than playing to what you think they're going to do, you know? And yeah, the top teams, they're all great, especially like we played Northwoods. I believe they knocked us out of the quarterfinals at Harrisburg. All really great people. I'm friends with a lot of them, talk to them a lot, and you know, it's great to play against like teams like that. It only helps everybody improve. So,
and then
awesome.
to kind of answer the second part of my question, what are kind of the main things that you're focusing on right now? You know, because when you're seeing so many 3-0 victories, kind of to the average person, they would say, well, what do they need to improve? But what are kind of some of the main things that you're most working on, continuing to improve and polish as the season goes on? Definitely
communication. Like, you know, because as you can see, when we all swap roles, like, it doesn't really matter what we play. Like, we can play well together on it. The biggest thing that helps that is communication. And it's something we've struggled with for a while, and it's something we're getting better at. That's something Doc likes to remind us about all the time, every team fight, every game, everything. But yeah, communication is the biggest one, because mechanically we're all up to par, I think. Like, we're all great mechanically, but our communication and our teamwork is the biggest thing that'll lead us to victory, you know, because it doesn't matter how good you are as an individual player. If you can't play with a team, you ain't gonna make it. So.
All right, I just want to ask you kind of one more question. If you're talking to Brenner, you know, when he's in the seat of the jury and calling all the games, we've been talking so much about, you know, just kind of, we've been seeing kind of the same maps chosen over and over again. That's partly because, you know, when you're undefeated, the other team is choosing all the maps for you. But is there any kind of offbeat map that you like playing on the most? You know, we haven't seen anything except Dorado basically for Escort. So like an Escort, is there anything that you especially like to play, or just for any of the maps that you would kind of, if you had the choice to be able to play it, you would?
That's a good question. I'm trying to think. What are the Escort maps? You know, I'm not a big fan of Escort maps in general.
Well, there's Dorado, Junkertown, Havana.
Yeah, I would say my favorite is Junkertown. Just because Junkertown is such a diverse map. Like, you can play a lot of stuff. On defense, you can spawn hold on brawl. You can play hog sig spam. You can play ball comp. You can play dive. You can play double shield. You can play pretty much anything on Junkertown. That's why I love the map so much. And I think it's the most diverse Escort map. So Junkertown's definitely one I'd like to play more. I think I was in a scrimmage today. We played Junkertown. But yeah, in matches, I think that'd be a fun map to play a lot more.
Well, you certainly have a lot to juggle now. As you said, it started off slow, but now you got 3 tournaments to juggle right now. And certainly you're doing a great job at it. Of course, yeah. This is the one we were saying, you know, every time this replay comes up, me and Brenner were like, is there any debate here? We knew this was going to be in the replay. That's just
sure.
That's every single Reaper's dream. I mean, that's what every single Reaper dreams of doing, but it never happens because it's like a dream, and yet you're pulling it off like it's no big deal.
Yeah, I know. I got I don't know who it was, but somebody went in and just like basically drew all the focus. I think it was our diva. I think it was Kel. And from there, I was able to just like scare the BAP into using MO, and then the second the Kree turned around, I pressed fade, and the Kree flashed into the abyss, and then I just pressed my Q button. But yeah, definitely Kel kind of putting his body on the line for me. It was really good there. Allowed me to do what I did.
Well, great job. No one pressed Q better than you can, so that's a great job. But a great job to you and all of the rest of the team. It has, you know, as much as I kind of have been giving the Broncos a hard time because it's like, oh, it's another 3-0 victory, you know.
Yeah.
Great job. It has been a great pleasure to watch you and all of the teammates just having so much fun throughout the season. So I wish you and best of luck juggling these 3 tournaments going forward, and I'm sure we'll see you in a lot of semifinals and finals toward the end of this semester. Well, any final words or just a quick goodbye?
No, I think that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to take a look at the top 5 plays of the game brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard. They invite you to take your critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is the best team to join out there. You can reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. But do not log off after you see those top 5 plays of the game. Because like I said, we finished so quickly that we've got so much time, we might as well bring another interview up, and I can think of no one better to interview than our very own Doc Haskell. We'll get to him right after these top 5 plays of the game, but for now, enjoy the top 5 plays. right off the edge in their own spawn. Just the sheer disrespect here and confidence from Boise State. You can tell they came here to play and are going to be closing out this round with style.
Yeah, when you're that undefeated team, so that Mercy is the perfect pick,
Oh,
and he's
there
going to
it is.
go right up top. And as that Bastion gets set up, he's going to take Proxy out immediately.
The large bagel also taking out Ultimate there. Boise State is just going one after the other, taking out Plague. I would say Boise State, specifically Gob, is the Plague right now, getting a triple. Needs to get away from Max, so look out for Plague. 2 is taken out by the minefield that has been dropped by Plato. Nerdy Bird also using the Gravitic Flux and Amplification Matrix thrown down by Asu. Cameron University is just going to have to use this Gravitic Flux to try to keep this going. Is able to take Large Bagel in it, but just throws the anti-nade right back on.
So hopefully going to be able to teleport up top and contest the high ground, as we're going to see immediately right as Plato jumps away, and the duplicate is just going to clean up that back line.
I love that strategy. Use the Echo mobility to make your way up to the rooftop. Copy the Bastion and just Cross is going to be changing over to the Wrecking Ball. Large Bagel is just going to be using this Bastion to get a double. Make it 3 though. It's just going to mow down this Reinhardt shield. Now focus on to Quake and then just quickly move on to the other team members. Well, okay, that's one. Tonight, as we have seen Boise State cruise to victory in 3 matches back-to-back, and we have been talking with Gob specifically from the Boise State team, but I think it'd be great if we also checked in with Doc on the heels of such a great victory, kind of a mini coaches show, and you will. How has it been, Doc? Just talking with the team, you kind of had to calm them down there at multiple times throughout that match because they were just really yelling on that stage, having the time of their life.
They were, and that's what we want them to do. Honestly, we play these games because they're fun to play, and so good laughing and celebration. That's always good, but we got to get into the next fight. We got to finish clean. When you practice good patterns, when you need those, they come out in performance.
Well, as we're talking about going forward here, if we can bring up kind of the new coaches poll, which is kind of the main thing that we have been talking about, a lot of undefeated teams still at the top of their bracket. It's really kind of a testament just how big the Star League is.
Yeah,
So
a lot of new folks in this year.
Yeah, so as we're going forward, toward more of these undefeated teams, what can you tell us for how the Broncos are preparing for that?
Well, we've been talking about it this week. This is when we get into the tougher folks. A lot of these tournaments, Swiss tournaments. So we get to see a lot more undefeated teams as we're undefeated ourselves. In fact, there's a team on that list that you saw that we play in the ABC Homecoming tournament on Friday, and that is Akron. We're really excited about Akron. We've got that one circled because that's one of the kids in our neighborhood, and we want to show up for that one.
Yeah, and also just talking about teams you've already gone up against, Northwood just right beside you. They're ranked number 3. I think Boise State's ranked number 4. A lot of arguments could be made that they should be ranked number 1. Just an insane team, but you've already gone up against them in HughFest. And Gob was just talking about, even though you're kind of top rivals at this time, have a great kind of relationship and friendly relationship.
Absolutely. We like nearly everybody on that poll. I'll leave out who we don't, but we're excited to be able to get in that part of the season where we get to play these folks. It's what gets us in the arena. It's what gets us into practice. It's what gets us into film review, the opportunity to play with these folks.
Well, overall, Doc, I just have to ask, just in terms of other games, we have a league game tomorrow. We still have Rocket League. What can you just tell us just about all the other sports and how they're doing as well?
Well, honestly, our Rocket League team advanced further than we ever had before in the CRL. We were eliminated in the 3rd game of a best of 3 in the CRL against Utah yesterday, who did advance. And I'm not sure what opportunities there might be for a wild card, but CRL definitely wants to have the Broncos in this tournament, and they're definitely worthy to play at that level. We defeated tonight in another league one of the big team, the team that won our division on Sunday. So definitely deserve to be there. Hopefully we can get those folks in. Our League of Legends team comes out tomorrow, and you're going to see a whole lot different about that group. We are not favored in that game, but I have us favored in that game. Coach Moore has us favored in that game. Our players have us favored in that game. So we're really excited to test that tomorrow in UAL.
Well, I cannot wait to get to that. I'll get you out on this, Doc. One final thought. If there's one complaint that I and Brenner especially has had on Escort, we have seen too much Dorado. We have just seen so many of the same maps. So I just want to float this idea by you and just see if it sticks. I'm just saying, it might not be tournament legal in any way, but let's ignore minor details like that. All Paris. Just all Paris
all
going
Paris.
through the all Paris Torb Hammer League. I'm just floating it by.
I like it.
We have some
it.
major
You know what?
possibilities there.
I'll run that up the flagpole and see if it flies.
All right. Well, we will see how that works. Thank you very much for taking those suggestions, Doc. And thank you to all of you out there in Twitch for watching us tonight. It has been a great night. So be sure to tune in tomorrow for Tuesday for the League of Legends match. That is at 6 o'clock Mountain Time. And, of course, like Doc said, you're not going to want to miss the Overwatch match on Friday. For now, though, that is going to do it for us tonight. Have a great night and stay safe, everybody.